Bro.
Hi, this is Justin Roberts, and you are listening to 3 Count Thursday. Hope you enjoy it.
A little bit of the bubbly.
I did it for the rock. Give me what I want! Everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
It's about the 14 years it took me to go from undesirable to un-goddamn deniable. Mamma mia!
3 ain't enough now, I need 5. Welcome in Jim, Ryan, Matt, Tim, and intern Mark.
They think they got the answers. I change the questions.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 3 Count Thursday. We are live. It is Thursday night, May the 14th. It has officially been over 2 months' time since anybody was in the studio with me. It's been over 2 months' time. And that's really unfortunate, but it is what it is. We press on and we do things this way, and we'll continue to do things this way each and every week as long as we have to. And we are glad to be with you. Just want to remind everyone that we are the podcast of the millennium. We got tons to talk about this week, including a working man's win, the Iron E of AEW, and the man's future. But remind everyone, just go over to 3countthursday.com. That's our website. You can find all of our social media links, our YouTube page, our merchandise from whatamaneuver.net. I think Tim will be with us, so maybe he can. Ryan, you're all jumpy. You're all I don't know if it's your internet. We'll figure it out. Our Patreon page, patreon.com/3countthursday. We are part of NGSC Sports Radio. You can catch them at ngscsports.com. We also stream at Leeb Sports. Ryan, that is?
I'm going to try it. LEEIBsports.com.
There you go. That was clear.
Super.
But yeah, well, you can make sure you check us out again. 3countthursday.com. I just want to bring a little programming note with everybody. There's Tim.
Mamma mia!
Timmy! Tim is here. Tim, how are you? I don't know if he connected to audio yet. There he is.
I'm great. I'm here.
Tim,
what
we missed you. We missed
Tim,
you.
look great.
Thank you.
Tim, my hair's almost as long as yours now.
Well,
not really.
No, I'm in a. I could show you guys, but I could show everybody what I've done with myself lately. I
saw a picture of what you did to yourself.
All right, here we go.
I didn't see. What did you do to yourself?
Share with the group.
Oh God, here we go.
Here it comes.
Hold on, I gotta take the headset off.
I see some pink there, Tim.
Can't really see.
You got
all
pink
red everything.
It's pink. Calm down.
All pink everything. It's like a Bret Hart convention. It's like a natty convention. But Tim, we're glad you're back with us. We missed you.
Good to be back, man. Good to be back.
Tim, our merchandise is at whatamaneuver.net, by the way, still.
What a maneuver.
Thank you. We missed that. I tried to get Ryan to do it last week, and he didn't hit the post. So I want to do a drawback to something from last week, though, Matt. We were talking about the wrestling collectibles and some of the merchandise. So I was able to dig up the Hulkster out of the collection, my wrestling buddy, and then something else I came upon as I was going through things is my old WWF lunchbox. Now, somewhere I have the thermos. I don't think it's in here. The thermos is not in here, but I do have the thermos somewhere. The actual.
You need
For
that
this guy,
thermos.
made in the USA. Made in the USA. So there we go. Two pieces from the Big Jim collection that are here in the studio. But I want to remind
Zack
everybody,
Ryder's going to be knocking on your door.
hey, he can send me a big old fat check if he wants to. I know he's gotten a nice severance from the WWE, so he can hit me up, bigjimsports@gmail.com, and I will. Everybody's got a price, and honest to God, for me at this point, it's probably not that steep. But I want to remind everybody you can subscribe to our show, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and all of that. We are now on Spotify as well. So if you go to Spotify and search 3 Count Thursday, you can subscribe to us on Spotify.
We are spotters.
That came active as of yesterday. We were able to get that finally set up. I remember somebody months ago had asked if we were on there, and we weren't. But now we are. So there we go. If you just one more place, you can subscribe to us. There's catch up some of the comments here. Laura says, "Hey guys." Scotty says, "Did we hear the news?" Yeah, we heard the news. We'll talk about the news. He says we're still better than Bruce Pritchard. Although he keeps saying we're better than Bruce Pritchard with a T in the name Pritchard. I'm not sure who that is. And then Devin's with us. Matt, there's a Matt in the comments. He says,
giving you a compliment. Don't insult the kid.
Listening. So he said, welcome in, Matt, for the first time. So yeah, all right, let's jump into it. Spelling, whatever. Let's jump right into it. Obviously, this past Sunday was Money in the Bank on the WWE Network, and one noticeable difference from this Money in the Bank to many other pay-per-views is it was noticeably shorter than most pay-per-views at right around 2.5 hours. And the word on the street is that's going to be
right around
kind of
December,
the new norm.
December time.
As long as we are under no crowd performance center type shows, that's going to be kind of the new norm. And I'm all for it. Like, you know, we've gone on record numerous times. Like if there's a pay-per-view, I'm watching it crust the tip. But the 2.5 hour thing, and then the Undertaker documentary right after, and then like the Undertaker doc came to an end, and I looked at the clock and I was like, whoa, it's surprisingly early. Not that I have anywhere to be, but it was a refreshing change, I would say.
Yeah, I'm all for that. That was fantastic.
All right, should I direct traffic this week?
Direct traffic
a little
host.
Bit. You feel a little. Ryan, I got to learn my direction cues. Ryan,
here I am.
You are a little laggy. Yeah, I think you are a little laggy.
Am I real? I'm answering you right away. This will be fun. Good show tonight, folks.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Should I jump out and come back in?
Because you're definitely laggy. Maybe. Yeah, why don't we try that? Because I don't think it's on my end. Everybody else seems to be coming through
We're
clear.
like one of those auction sites that everybody's doing right now.
Exactly.
Bye, friends.
So Ryan, why don't you jump back? Ryan's going to jump back. He's going to jump back in. Tim, your thoughts on the shorter timed pay-per-view?
I think that it's welcomed. With everything that's going on right now, I saw the stat that it was like the shortest WWE pay-per-view of an actual WWE event since like Over the Edge 99 or something to that effect. Like it goes back till 1999 that we had an actual WWE pay-per-view that is sub 2.5 hours. But as long as they're like making it jam-packed, which is what this was, I mean, it was full. We had 4 title matches plus Money in the Bank, a pre-show match, and whatever R-Truth and MVP was. I mean, you had all of that. And technically it was 2 Money in the Bank matches in a row or at the same time. So All in all, I
Yeah.
thought it was really good. And it's welcomed, at least from my end. Now, if you were a professional, you would have known that the last ride came out earlier in the day, and I watched the last ride chapter 1 at like 11 a.m. because I am a degenerate and I need my Undertaker
it
stuff
dropped?
immediately. Yeah,
It dropped early in the day. Oh, I was completely unaware.
Oh, be watching the Twitter. Follow WWE Network. They were like watch Last Ride all day long. And like I'm like, okay, I'm going right now.
Yeah, I definitely completely missed that one. Now the rest of the episodes, the next one dropping this Sunday, those are all going to be on demand watches. They're not going to be after any pay-per-views or anything like that.
Right.
So the rest of them will drop at, I think it is like 10 or 11 in the morning. Matt, your thoughts on the time of the show? We'll jump into a couple of the matches, but just the shorter length of the pay-per-view.
I mean, I'm not going to complain about it. It was kind of surprising initially. I was like, wait, they're getting to this and it's like 8:45. But once we kind of saw like the finished product and everything, I wasn't going to complain about a shorter show just because it didn't seem like the type of event, especially when you're doing a simultaneous main event, that you need to stretch it out to a 3-hour show. It certainly didn't qualify for that.
Yeah, no doubt. Thomas asks here, do you think the WWE will ever upload more WWF 80s content to the network? I mean, I would hope so at some point. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that enjoy the older content there. Devin says he was surprised how early it ended, but he's down for it. So let's just jump right to the main events as they were. The corporate ladder matches. We can rewind back to maybe some of the other stuff if you want to. But this one again, a pre-taped, cinematic, whatever words you want to use to describe the Money in the Bank corporate ladder matches. But much like the Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse at WrestleMania, I had different hopes going into this one than I did for those, because I think we didn't know or really what to expect out of those matches at WrestleMania. These we had some degree of expectation after what they gave us at WrestleMania. So I went into it expecting something good, something exciting, something entertaining, and for me it delivered. The men's came in at 27 minutes 15 seconds. The women's were around 22 minutes. There was my 22. But overall, like, I thought it was really cool seeing them kind of all go through different parts of headquarters. Obviously they eventually made it to Vince's office. AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan made it to Vince's office. And there was a great tweet I saw from somebody that screenshot the camera shot over Vince's shoulder with Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, and him in frame, and it said, "Rewind to like 2006 and explain this, to an indie wrestling fan. Explain this picture to an indie wrestling fan." But overall, I enjoyed the hell out of this match. Again, I think that they've been very good with these type of matches when you've had to steer into the skid of everything that's going on right now. WWE delivered once again in pretty spectacular fashion, in my opinion. Ryan.
So I want to see, am I still on a lag here? We'll see how long it took me.
This time you actually came through to me pretty much instantly.
I'm coming through hot.
We're good.
All right, so this is good. This is good. The biggest takeaway from this is that they're not mentioning Roman Reigns anymore. No sign of Roman. We're not going to mention him until they get to the third floor, and there's this big-ass mural of fucking Roman Reigns. I love it. I love the match. I thought it was fantastic. Baron Corbin yucking people off the roof. That sounds like fun. I love how they had to come back and clarify that there was a sub-roof that they were on, and they actually aren't dead. So that was cool. But man, that was a lot of fun. It was really good. The 2 hours, 30 minutes sort of thing, in and out. I'm all for it. It's easy to digest. Great job, WWE, on Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Matt, let's go to you next.
It was fine. It was a lot more slapsticky than I was expecting it to be. Between mirror smashing, the picture smashing on Dana, the whole food fight. I'll say God bless whoever recut Mysterio being thrown off the roof and adding the Goofy scream, because that was really the only thing that was missing for me from that. So I didn't hate it. I was okay with the finishes on both of them. I like the direction they're going with that. I probably won't rewatch it like I've rewatched the Boneyard match. I rewatched the Firefly Funhouse match. I probably won't rewatch Money in the Bank, but I did not have any kind of ill feelings towards it. I appreciated it for what it was as I watched it.
All right, Tim, your thoughts.
Vince McMahon was wearing jeans.
I did notice that.
That's my takeaway.
Is this believable?
That's my takeaway. Like, Vince McMahon first of all, they must have knew ahead of time. Like, everybody, like, that building should have been vacant. So why was Brother Love and Doink and Vince and whoever else, Paul Heyman? Why does Paul Heyman have catering at WWE headquarters?
That I was like, huh?
It's supposed to be empty. But like, why are all these people here? Now I get Vince.
Well, we all know that Brother Love is an essential employee and has to be there every day. We do know that.
WWE religious services, I get it. And so, but there's only one thing about everything with Money in the Bank that did not make sense to me, and it was why Baron Corbin tried to stop Asuka from grabbing the briefcase.
Like, that's
Asuka
a good point.
And Baron Corbin was like, no. And like tried to push her off, thinking that like she was going for his briefcase, or was he trying to be Raw Women's Champion? I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, he hasn't had he hasn't had the best of luck on the men's side. So maybe he thought if he wins the women's contract that that he would have better luck on that side. Or maybe he was trying to win both and be the first men's and women's champion simultaneously. Maybe that's what he was going for.
Sure.
But Vince McMahon in jeans did crack me up. Do we know or has it been revealed the identity of the custodian? Because he had a Bruce Pritchard show hat on. So I don't know if that was just Bruce getting his shit in, or it was just some random extra, or if it was. Was it who? Like
Kane, his
like
son.
Mayor Glenn Jacobs Kane? Oh,
no,
maybe
his
it was.
Son's name is Kane. Yeah, that might be his son.
Tim, you're
his son. I don't know how old
frozen,
Kane
Tim,
is right now.
Well, but it's got to be Kane. That makes sense then. That he had a that he had a Pritchard show hat on. But yeah, no, Kane was born in like
98-ish. So yeah, that could have been his son. Maybe.
How much makeup did they put on Bruce Pritchard's face? That shit was
all of it.
Tons, all of it. Well, I think you have to clear. I don't know. I'm not totally sure how like the purchasing and processes are in corporate America, but I think you have to use old stock before you can buy new. So I think they were using up all the makeup they had and haven't been able to use in the last couple months.
That's gotta be it.
Ryan, is that a Built Rhino Tough T-shirt in the background?
It is Built Rhino Tough. Yeah. I bought it right from Rhino. He's got kids he has to feed. He can't do our podcast, but he'll sell me a shirt.
That's right. I mean, to be fair, he did go to the WWE. Now we might be able to get him because I mean
No,
he's not
he
working.
wasn't in the WWE when we asked the last time. He was wrestling in Lancaster.
Didn't he just sign, or he was on his way?
Yeah, on his way probably. That's
On
when he
his way.
landed in NXT.
Yeah, that's right. All right, in terms of the winners of the match, Asuka and Otis, I'm obviously fine both ways there. I really thought it was going to be AJ, but getting the surprise Otis victory was pretty special. It was good to see the big man Otis. And there's an intern, Mark, joining us. We got all five.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. How you doing, Mark?
Good. I'm good. I was running late, but thanks for having me.
That's okay. I was gonna make an ill-timed joke about where you were, but I know your heart's still hurting. Any updates on Hershey Park? Are there anything?
No, I didn't see anything recently. If I had a guess, I'm going to say hopefully by July, but I don't know. I'm hopeful.
You got to hold. Yeah, that's all we can do at this point, Mark. Is hold out and hold on to hope.
We got to hold on.
We were just talking about the Money in the Bank matches. Did you enjoy the corporate ladder match, Mark?
Yeah, actually, I did. I really like what WWE's trying to do, given the situation. I thought it was very unique, and I enjoyed it. The men and the women's, and yeah, I thought it was different.
Yeah, very much. All right, let's. Is there any other match from the card that anybody wants to talk about specifically?
I would like to give a shout out to Dana Brooke, who dominated Twitter when she wiped out on the wet floor, thanks to the custodian. There was like just huge threads of giving kudos to Dana Brooke for wiping out, and how funny it was that there was no caution wet floor sign. So that's an OSHA violation, but people just went off on that. So that was fun. And hey, Dana Brooke was on a pay-per-view, so that's cool.
Hey, and she almost won the whole Money in the Bank briefcase there, but got the wrong one. Got the old conference room briefcase. You know, I hate when that happens. I hate when I think I'm going to win everything and I end up with the conference room briefcase. This is the worst. Tim.
What about that Zoom Stephanie McMahon run-in? She won there.
Yeah. I was
So
like,
bad.
how did she get there? But yeah, that was a fun little drop in there. I said I think the only thing that they really missed on was they didn't have Vince say that this is good shit. I thought that would have been a great opportunity in the midst of everything for him to drop that this is some good shit, but it was pretty solid. I really enjoyed the Strowman and Bray Wyatt match. I going into it, I didn't really know what to expect, given that I was like, okay, are they going to have Braun steamroll him? Are they going to have Bray just win and we have to go back through all of this? Is the Fiend the champion? Is Bray the champion? How do you get the title off of him without potentially hurting Bray Wyatt? Situation again. I really liked the way they did it, and it showed the depth of this character, the vulnerability of Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend, with Braun wearing the mask and then breaking his arm. Bray falls for the trap like he has over time. So I have no problems with the execution of the match. I thought that both guys brought it pretty good in that one. Tim, your thoughts on Bray and Braun?
I thought it was exactly what you would get out of a Bray Wyatt match. Not a Fiend match, but you got your Firefly fun. You get your Huskus to Pig showed up, and you had the seemingly brainwashing of the sheep mask, the black sheep mask. But this is exactly what I would expect from a 2020 Bray Wyatt match. Like, not physically dominating, not anything else, and it's safe for Bray to lose, but not the Fiend. So,
Yep. Matt.
For me, this match was probably the best storytelling we saw tonight. My takeaway from it was kind of that Bray wanted the opportunity to turn Braun back, was granted that opportunity by the Fiend, didn't succeed. So I think that takes us to the next chapter of the story. Hopefully that's the direction they're going anyway. That's what I would do. I'm not Vince, but I think they set it up really well forward for a good feud between Fiend and Braun that I hope we can see through and see what we all would want to happen with that. But I liked it. I thought that was probably the best match to me in terms of just what happened in the ring and the overall storyline, because it Money in the Bank was what it was, and we didn't have like the cheesy scenes in it, in my opinion.
Ryan, your thoughts, Bray and Braun.
Yeah, as long as it's not the Fiend getting defeated, I'm okay with this. You can show vulnerability and show weakness as Bray Wyatt, over and over and over again. As long as the Fiend comes out and the Fiend is dominant, and they keep those two separate, I'm never gonna have a problem with the Bray Wyatt character losing. Also, kudos to him for like wrestling in a sweater. That's not probably fun.
Yeah, especially as a big boy. Like, I mean, we all know what that's like when you're a big man in a warm climate, and you only have the one fan in attendance, and it's doing its thing. But that's a warehouse. Like, if anybody's ever been in a warehouse, you know what those walls look like, you know what that ceiling looks like, and you know what it feels like. And I don't
air
know.
conditioning in there.
I wouldn't totally bank on it, man. It is hard to air condition a warehouse.
You're acting like it's the FCW arena.
But it is what it is. But yeah, definitely hats off to Bray there. Mark, your thoughts, Braun and Bray.
Braun and Bray, you know what? I thought I was very good. That's the same as everybody else is saying. I'm okay with Bray Wyatt not necessarily winning, and but the Fiend, I'm hoping that the Fiend and Strowman are coming up here soon. That would be nice.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Again, I know we're like, this story is not over, because of the way that the match ended, and the look that Bray gave, and you had the little flashes of the Fiend showing up. So it obviously appears that we're going that direction. And I'm going to stand firm on it again, that I don't think the Fiend / Bray Wyatt needs a championship. So it's going to be interesting to see as we progress over the next couple months, and weeks and months, how exactly we end up with where this feud goes. But all right, wrapping up Money in the Bank. Let's give a letter grade on the show. We will start with intern Mark.
Boy, I'll tell you. Let me think here. I'm thinking I would probably give it a solid B. I was entertained by it. I thought it was good, but I wouldn't say it necessarily stood out as one of the best pay-per-views I've seen.
Okay, all right. Ryan, you had your hand up. I'm sorry, I missed that. Did you mute yourself?
No, I didn't. No, I'm not. I'm fine. I'm not upset. It was in fact Kane Pritchard. I looked it up. PW Insider did confirm that it was none other than Bruce Pritchard's son, Kane Pritchard. That is spelled with a K, like the wrestler, on there. So yeah, had to get his shit in and threw on the I used to be over hat in the show. You know what? Let's give this an old. Let's give it a C+. C+.
Ooh. Okay. All right, there we go. Matt.
Just to stay on brand and give it the lowest grade out of the 3-count team, I will give it a straight C. But I was going to give it a C+ initially.
All right. Well, I appreciate you committing to being yourself even in these challenging times. Tim, you're great on Money in the Bank.
You should have went last, Matt.
Oh no!
Should have went last.
Oh no!
This is not a pay-per-view. This is a house show. This is a Raw. Nothing special. C-.
Damn! Wow! What
For
happened?
Money in the Bank? Like, even the Money in the Bank match itself.
You come in my face, I'm going to fight you.
Not even really special either. Like, it happened. Money in the Bank happened. It wasn't a happening. It just happened. C-.
Asuka in an elevator. I can't believe it.
Cool. Yeah, and Asuka's been doing the elevator shtick on at Raw announce tables and the ring apron and everything else. Like, what's so cool about like, that's what is cool about that? On an elevator. Oh, the camera changed. Get out of here.
Thank you. You're not going to see that at the house shows.
I don't need. Is this
C-.
how our show ends? Like, I don't even know how to exist in this world.
I will say, Jim, if you give it an A, then yes, this is where.
Well,
COVID-19
it's been real. No. I'm not going to give this show an A.
Him.
I'm not going to give this show an A. I'll give it a B+. I'll give it. That is me. I mean, I enjoyed most everything. I mean, the R-Truth MVP Bobby Lashley thing was odd. On Raw though, they actually almost kind of made me care about a Bobby Lashley segment. So that was totally unexpected. And then Bailey versus Tamina, I hated. Everything else I was fine with. The New Day retaining, whatever. But
so how does it justify the B+? Like,
the match was good.
Everything else was A's.
The match was good. I love both title matches, and I've absolutely loved the Money in the Bank match, and the pre-show match was good. So I'm fine with it.
Oh, there was a pre-show match?
Yeah, there was a pre-show match.
Who was that?
Jeff Hardy and Cesaro.
Yeah.
Oh,
but R-Truth and MVP made the pay-per-view. Okay.
Well, R-Truth and Bobby Lashley made the pay-per-view. But
by the way, Lashley in tights better than Lashley in trunks, correct?
I'll agree with that. I
like the tights.
Now, if they could just figure out a way to mute Lana, we'd be even better off. But Devin gave it a B, Matt gave it a B, Jason gave it a C-. So he's with you, Tim.
My man.
Matt says here, I think it's safe to say we miss crowd reactions. Am I wrong? I mean, I miss wrestling with the crowd. I do not necessarily miss cutting to a crowd reaction every 2.3 seconds. I definitely don't miss that. I still think it would be funny if they just used old like file footage and cut the crowd shots on some of the shows. But I mean, I miss crowds. I've gotten used to it though. Like I've even found watching AEW, like hearing stuff in the crowd. They have the wrestlers around the ring. It's because I've gotten so used to no crowd that once a week it's a little like I have to adjust to it at first because I'm like, what's that sound? Oh yeah, they actually have people at ringside.
I will say, R-Truth interacting with the crowd, I did appreciate that part of the show.
Yeah,
it was the only part of that match I enjoyed, but I did appreciate that shtick.
I feel like that match would have received some CM Punk chants, so I did miss that.
That's another thing they should just pump in every now and again if there's a segment that just feels off. Which
Tamina match.
They could have done it on the Triple H 25th anniversary segment a couple weeks ago. Now, we did have
The 3 count question of the week.
this week, and I posed it to our audience. I said, if you could change the result of either the men's or the women's Money in the Bank match from this past Sunday, which would you choose, and who would you have win? I will go to Ryan first. Ryan, if you could change the result of one of the main event matches, which would you switch, and who would you switch it to?
It's going to be a convoluted answer. What I would do is have Becky drop the championship beforehand, give it to whoever, and then start a fresh feud with somebody like, I don't know, a Dana Brooke, and really kind of shock people. So I'm going to say give Asuka the championship before the match and let Dana Brooke win this.
Okay. All right. Matt, if you could change one, who would you change it to?
Yeah, again, knowing what we know, it's tough to say because I would have preferred Lacey Evans get the briefcase, but I don't want Lacey Evans to just get the title right away. So that would have been my choice, and have her challenge even Charlotte for the NXT. But knowing what we know now, the contents of the briefcase, it's tough to change the winner because it makes the most sense to put that on Asuka.
All right, fair. Tim, which would you change?
I'm gonna hate myself for even saying this,
My God.
Shoot him.
but if I had to change one, Otis doesn't win Money in the Bank.
Oh, yes, Ducky. We have our top suspect.
Like, I love Otis, and I love that Otis won Money in the Bank. However, I have a bad feeling about this cash-in. And if you want the cash-in to matter, I really think King Corbin could have done good, especially in a scene where there's no real main event heels. Like Baron Corbin taking the title from Drew McIntyre or Braun Strowman, it injects King Corbin into that main event picture, as opposed to Big Otis repping for the Chunky Boys. Like, good for him, but like, again, let me reiterate, I love Otis's Money in the Bank. They need to turn the briefcase into like a lunchbox or something. And
Made of chips.
yeah, he's so good. I can't wait.
All right. Wow, man. Your answers are just catching me off guard. We haven't had you on for a couple of weeks, and it's like we don't even know you anymore.
And I'm still me.
Mark,
it's the pink tips is what it is.
there it is. Mark, if you could change one, who would you change it to?
Oh yeah, if I could change one, I would probably. Well, I was okay with Asuka winning. Probably, as much as I dislike him, I think King Corbin would have made a good Money in the Bank winner, just because he is such a good heel. I think that would have really helped his character even further, having him carry the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I feel you on that one, and that won't be my answer. I still think it would have been a good launching point for Lacey Evans. I'm going to go with it based on the result from Sunday versus what we knew after the fact. Obviously, again, and so like I'll kind of go the route Ryan went. I'll steal that from him with if Becky's got to move the title, make the announcement on Sunday. Asuka gets the title, and Lacey has the briefcase. So I'll stick with Lacey. Couple of the responses here. Mario says AJ, hands down. William says men's AJ Styles. Nick says women Baszler. Jay says for the men CM Punk, for the women AJ Lee. So we got a Punk mark out there. Chris says for the men's either Black or Styles. So again, thank you to everybody who responded to the question of the week question on Facebook.
The 3 count question of the week.
Let's move ahead here to Monday Night Raw. Yeah, obviously we opened up. It was Monday afternoon. We had the post from WWE social media that Becky Lynch had a huge announcement, which kind of immediately, and I don't know if anybody else had thought anything different. I kind of assumed that it was pregnancy. I figured if you're gonna throw that out there, I didn't see any reason that she would have to like retire. So I just kind of assumed that was the situation. We hadn't really seen her be very active since WrestleMania, but we opened up Raw with Becky relinquishing the championship, and I did like the way they did it. With having the title in the briefcase and revealing it to Asuka in that moment with her and Asuka was pretty special. So we opened up Raw with Becky Lynch's announcement that she's leaving, that she's pregnant, and Asuka is your new Raw Women's Champion. So a pretty momentous start to Monday Night Raw. Obviously, congratulations to Becky Lynch and what we would assume is Seth Rollins. I love how like people's like reaction to that. But obviously it changes the landscape of the women's division in the WWE. Matt, your thoughts first.
I mean, you never know, Jim. They could have just been asking you to rewatch last week's episode of Billions where Becky Lynch co-starred, and that would have been her big.
Possibly.
I mean, I think we all saw it coming when they said that. Very, happy for the two of them. It's kind of like, I think once we heard that, it made the Asuka decision make more sense because of the direction that they had to go with it. So, we'll see. They haven't really been giving a lot of the necessary pushes to the women's division that they should. They've kind of pushed all their chips on Becky, Asuka, Charlotte. So, that could have been a good time for them to build up someone new in the division. We'll see if that comes back to be a poor decision or not. But I mean, it's Asuka. She can carry a division. It's just, are the fans going to get tired of it? Kind of like they got tired of Becky after a while.
Yeah, Jason in the comments here already says that he's over Asuka as it is. I think Asuka, and I've said it for weeks, basically in this empty arena era, if that's what we're referring to this period of time as. I think Asuka's been one of the MVPs of WWE throughout this period of time. I think she's been one of the most captivating stars in the WWE in this time. So, it definitely does make sense. Tim, your thoughts on obviously the monumental change in the women's division?
Yeah, it's no surprise that Asuka and Otis were the two people that won Money in the Bank, because it's arguably the two most entertaining characters in WWE today. But as far as the women's division is concerned, I watched a little bit of WWE backstage, and CM Punk mentioned, I know it's a great take coming from CM Punk, but it's really cultivating a next person up mentality. And I'm very curious to see who's going to carry the flag that Becky carried. Because right now, I mean, Charlotte's on NXT and like she's doing her thing over there. She'll be on SmackDown on Friday now with the new brand to brand invitation, or I think that's what it's called.
You don't even go here.
Right. And like with COVID-19, like I think that their pool of talent might also be not limited, but like pretty much everyone's being used, but you can't really use everybody at the same time. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they shuffle the deck and put certain people in certain situations. But I'm looking for you played her clip. This is a prime time for Bianca Belair to step up and do something. Like there's a huge gap now with Becky Lynch gone, and like Bianca's there, and there's no one like Bianca. Like there's just not. So
that's
my vote.
With the with the popularity of the Street Profits right now, and bringing Bianca Belair into the mix on Monday Night Raw, I agree. I think it's a huge opportunity for her. Yeah, Becky Lynch had held that title for 399 days. So obviously it was a it was a long time that she held the Raw Women's title, and whether people were tired of her or not, we thought that the title was going to move at WrestleMania. We thought, at least I did. I thought for sure it was Shayna Baszler's title to win, and it didn't happen. The doors open. I think there's an opportunity to have Shayna become a fairly large star in this women's division as well. Ryan, your take on the Open to Raw and the women's division right now?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be one of the new stars. I feel. You can still use some of your older talent that's been on Raw, but it's got to be one of those two, Shayna Baszler or Bianca Belair, to step up into that role. And I think you've hit the nail on the head, Tim, with Bianca Belair. I mean, she goes there now, so I mean, it definitely, man, there's just something special about Bianca Belair. I mean, the strength, her look, there's just star written all over her. I'd ride her right to the fucking moon. Bianca Belair for sure.
Yeah, you caught that too, didn't you, man?
Oh my!
I mean, there's nobody like her in the women's division, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. So you have one of the most unique stars in the WWE period with Bianca Belair. Mark, your thoughts here on Becky Lynch in the women's division?
Well, I'll tell you what, I knew that Seth Rollins was trouble with Becky. I knew this was going to happen.
Oh, Frank Boris is feeding you lines, huh?
But no, I thought it was a great opening segment, and giving the belt to Asuka, I think I was very much okay with that. I think Bianca Belair has such a huge upside to her. She is the EST. And also, it'd be nice to see Zelina Vega wrestling a little bit more, but I think she's doing one heck of a job too as a manager. She's really, with these empty arenas, has really come into her own.
Yeah, I agree. And we did see her wrestle a couple weeks ago. But yeah, the stable that she's putting together, and her role as a manager has been pretty spectacular. In terms of Becky Lynch's future, there was an article on People.com. That she learned she was pregnant in April. The baby is due in December, and she said she won't be making a decision on her in-ring future as of yet. She said, "It's such a joyous time and such a sad time too. I love this. I've given my life to this. I've achieved everything that I want to achieve in this business. I don't know what the next chapter is because I only know what it's like to think for myself when I'm by myself. So I don't know what it'll look like and how my priorities shift and what I'm going to want in the future. So everything's open." So, I mean, it's a possibility that we've seen Becky Lynch wrestle her last match in the WWE. And if it is, I mean, the impact that she has made on the women's division and women's wrestling, I think is one of the highest ones, especially in terms of the WWE. She is an absolutely a Hall of Famer, 110%. And I mean, I've never been the biggest Becky Lynch fan. And if you can go back over the history of this show, you can find the archives at 3countthursday.com. But there's no doubt the impact that she's made on the division. So to me, she's a Hall of Famer, absolutely a WWE Hall of Famer. But personally, the pop that she would get, when she comes back, let's look ahead. If the baby's due in December, you gotta. I would tend to think that we're not looking Royal Rumble time. I mean, that'd be a pretty quick turnaround. Not out of the question, but potentially leading up to WrestleMania, 318 days away from now. I think you could have a surprise return on the road to WrestleMania, and if and when, dear God, if and when there are fans in the crowd again, and let's hope by Rumble season, WrestleMania season, sign pointing season, that there's people in the crowd once again. I think the pop for Becky Lynch could be quite spectacular, and kind of an all-time pop there. Matt, we'll start with you. Any thoughts on the potential future, if there is one, for Becky Lynch?
I'm sure she will come back in some form, whether that be like just a Rumble entrant or full time. I'm sure this isn't the last we've seen of Becky Lynch. I would say that WrestleMania is probably pushing it, but Slam I could see if she's going to be coming back full time. Seeing her come back for the build on that, maybe an entrant in like an Elimination Chamber or Money in the Bank next year to kind of get her feet wet again.
Ryan, your thoughts?
Yeah. I don't know. A lot like you, Jim. I don't think I was a huge Becky Lynch fan. From the word go, I wasn't really into the whole steampunk gimmick. Maybe I didn't necessarily get it.
I still don't get the steampunk thing.
You know, it is what it is. But you know, the Seth Rollins took care of that for us. He slayed the beast, and you know, when the man comes around, he comes around. We've all seen his picture. You know, it is what it is. You know, what can you do? Good for him.
All right.
Not the first Irishman he took on put on the shelf.
Before we get to Tim and Mark, I'm gonna say that Ryan or Jim will own the mom shirt at some point.
That's yeah. When I saw those pop up, I'm like, God damn it, that feels like a Christmas present to me.
They're gonna happen.
Considering that before 3 Count Thursday got sent to our rooms from coronavirus, I mean, you announced on the podcast you were having a baby, so of course you're going to be.
I never announced that.
Brian,
that
did
is,
he not say he was going to have a kid?
He's having kids.
Okay.
I don't have a fake news button, but I have a wrong button. That is wrong. That is fake news. That is erroneous. Mark, your thoughts on the potential future for Becky Lynch?
Jim, maybe that's a question you should ask China.
China.
I just wanted you to hit the China button. That's all.
Yeah. I got
China.
you.
China.
I got
That's
you,
a nasty question.
No, I don't think we saw the end of Becky. Though, getting back to your question, she'll be back for sure. I don't know if she'll come back full time, but she'll definitely make an appearance in a WWE ring again for a match or two, or Royal Rumble, or whatever the case may be. It's not over. Maybe full time wrestling, but we'll see her back.
All right, very good, Tim. Your thoughts here.
Stop. What's the bullshit with holding the beer up to the thing? I don't get it.
Well, if you were drinking a beer, maybe you would.
What's up with that bullshit?
I'm showing the people what I'm drinking.
Nobody gives a shit what you're drinking, Jim.
That's not true. Don't make me hang up on you.
Is
that lube, Ryan?
No, that's hand sanitizer.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure
Where'd
it
you
is.
get that?
You could use it as lube. It's gonna hurt, but you could do it.
I was drinking this guy earlier.
Let's all hold shit up to our. I don't know. Do I have lube? I don't got lube.
Yeah, I guarantee you have lube sitting there, Ryan.
Ryan has held up like 16 Funko Pops.
Right? And I'm the asshole. At least some things never change around here that you know that I catch shit from that guy. Tim, your thoughts on Becky Lynch and her and you know the potential future of Becky Lynch.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I think it's very bold of Matt to assume that Becky Lynch won't be ready by the Royal Rumble. I mean,
that was me.
What
that
the
was
hell
me.
does? No, Matt said it too. Matt
Okay.
said that he thinks it's a little too soon. What the hell does he know about having a baby at these trying times? He doesn't know shit. But honestly, whatever she decides, like there's so many mitigating factors. I know it's heartbreaking for her, but I also know she's slated for a Marvel movie. I don't know if that's done or if it's still gonna happen or if now that's put on hold because of La Baby. So it's very tough to say what actually is going to happen with Becky. All I can say is that I'm just hoping that whatever decision that is made between Becky and Seth, and it stays there. I know that even though I had assumed that it was a pregnancy, and I kind of heard from a friend of someone close to the situation that they got it confirmed with like 3 different sources, that she was having a baby. Even the line on Raw, like I was crying. I was a big baby. I'm Ric Flair to that stuff. So yeah, it's great. It's great. So I'm very happy for Becky. It is kind of interesting that she's having a baby and she's stepping away, because she was kind of getting a little stale. Maybe having the baby is her new go and learn a hold and then come back. But it's gonna be very interesting.
He learned to hold all right.
Yeah. Did you guys see the meme about the Shield lined up? And it's Dean Ambrose pulled out of WWE, Roman Reigns pulled out of WrestleMania, Seth Rollins never pulls out.
I didn't see that one, but Jason said that we do know that Seth didn't
Come in my face.
We do know that, because you do that, you don't get a baby. So appreciate the comment there. If you're following along with us in the live video, why don't you give it a share? Get some people in here. We have a few in with us, and we appreciate the interaction here on the live video. The two Conics
share
are
it.
back.
Make sure you bring in all your neighbors' kids and everything like that. We're gonna keep talking about come on your face. Bring all the neighbor kids. It'll be great. They're gonna love hearing it. Bring us in. Share it amongst your family.
Hook your computer up to the projector.
Come over to watch. Grandma's lonely.
Put the speaker up to the window. Broadcast it to the neighborhood.
Right.
So everybody
Turn the bass up. Tell your horny neighbor to sit on the speaker.
So everybody can stay social distant, but still hear us talk about stuff like.
Come in my face.
It's great. It's great. The two Conics are back. They look to be getting into the women's tag team title picture. It looks like we're getting Edge versus Randy Orton in reverse order. They went from last man standing to a regular wrestling match, but you know what? I'm here for it. They're having that at Backlash, it would have seemed. I'm surprised that they're giving us Edge that quickly, but in the same time, if you want to believe the reasons for the crossovers with for ratings purposes, putting Edge on there probably part of that process as well. Overall, I thought this was the best Monday Night Raw of this era, of this empty arena era. I thought the show was paced really well. What's that, Matt?
You say that every week.
That is not true. That is not true. I say that I enjoy Raw every week, but I don't believe at any point until this week have you seen me or heard me say that I thought it was the best one. It just, I mean, I could be wrong. I'm very wrong a lot, but it is what it is. Let's talk about the announcement on NXT last night made by the old dog, Cross-Eyed McGee, and Triple H. That NXT, the next takeover event, is Sunday, June the 7th. It is NXT Takeover in your house. They even had the block style WWE logo, the old in your house font, and all of that. I'm cool that, again, it's a pay-per-view content on the network, and I was always a fan of the in your house shows. Now, I will say this: if they don't dig up the in your house set from the warehouse, then there's no point in doing this.
Bingo, ding yourself.
I'll do that later, but I'll hit that as well.
Tim, what are you drinking tonight?
Oh, I'm drinking some Coors Light, Matt. Thank you.
There it is. There it is.
I was drinking some Dogfish Head Pumpkin Ale earlier. See,
I'm like searching around my desk for stupid shit to hold up. And I've got plenty of it. I've got like my eBay folder right over here. I can find stupid shit for my eBay thing all the time. It'll be great.
I have an iHeartRadio mic flag at the ready. How about that? Which I think you can find us on iHeartRadio as well. I know the NGSC Sports is on iHeartRadio. I don't know if we exclusively are, but I know you can find NGSC Sports on there.
So I was listing stuff on eBay.
Okay.
I have this wonderful Clint Black cassette tape.
A Clint
Black
Black cassette
and a
tape.
Charlie Pride cassette tape autographed.
So
the only two blacks in country music.
Jesus.
Clint Black, Charlie Pride.
What about Darius Drucker? Isn't he in
I have
country
to go.
Now, Ryan,
It's an old joke. It hasn't aged well.
can you confirm or deny, Ryan, that you actually have to pay people to buy cassette tapes from you?
I've not sold any on eBay.
Oh, that's that.
What a thought.
I am shocked.
Wow.
That you have not sold any cassette tapes.
None of my cassette tapes have sold
on eBay.
I
Anybody
also found this Tomato Champs card hanging around.
Oh, the old Tomato Champs.
Tomato chips.
Any thoughts on? I mean, obviously there hasn't been any matches announced yet, but
Gonna be an A+ pay-per-view.
I love the in your house name.
So
if they
go ahead, Ryan.
If they don't have the set, it's for nothing.
Exactly. That I agree.
If there's not a garage door, I don't want to see it.
And if somebody doesn't swing off the roof like Shawn Michaels, then why are we even here?
Why are we even here?
So, Jim, are you just going to go ahead and just pencil yourself in for an A on the In Your House pay-per-view at this point?
Yeah, and it will be in pencil because, again, if they don't have the set, then it automatically goes to an F.
Oh, yeah, right.
Hard F.
Yeah, right.
If you don't give me the set, it will be an F. You can mark it down. 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time, May 14th, 2020.
Jim's had too much sauce and thinks he's actually going to give an F to a WWE pay-per-view.
I will grade
Sauce it.
I will grade NXT TakeOver In Your House an F if they do not have the In Your House set.
You drinking Moscow Mules over there, King?
That Bret Hart comes back and wins the NXT Championship by drooling all over whoever the NXT champion is at that moment.
Come on.
For the 1, 2, 3, Bret Hart comes back and you're going to have to give it an F. I can't wait.
You know, that's not very nice. You saying that about me.
Johnny Ace is a piece of shit.
It's not very nice saying that about me.
Not wrong. I miss the Wheel of Impressions.
I do miss it. It's sitting right over there on the floor. We don't have 15 people watching with us.
So
right?
I learned that I have a really good Sid Justice.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't realize it.
That's a fun one.
Until the latest Final Wrestling Place.
That's why I haven't heard it, because I did not listen to the latest Final Wrestling Plays pod yet. It is on my one of the many things on my agenda list for tomorrow is to listen to your podcast.
I've realized that everybody's free time to listen to podcasts has been cut down to nothing because nobody has commute time, but yet the number of podcasts that have happened has been multiplied by 8.
I started a third one.
I heard. I'm looking forward to that.
Look, man,
the first one's dropped, right?
What's that?
The first one's dropped?
Yes. Yeah, if you go to discussions with the nobody.
Over. What is it about? Talk about it for a minute.
I'm a nobody, and you're going to hear me talk about anything and everything not related to wrestling or sports.
Ding.
Even though we may end up talking about sports at some point.
So that's a food pay-per-view.
We could talk about food on there. But yeah, discussions with the nobody is the new
first episode where Jim chooses turkey in the first round of the Thanksgiving draft. And
fucking that Thanksgiving draft still pisses me off to this day. To this day, it pisses me off.
Hodecker's celery beat you, bro. How do you feel?
Fucking celery.
That's right.
Celery.
I don't even think
hands down.
Yeah, I was being nice, like I was being a nice guy. I'm gonna fall on that sword for everybody and do the damn dishes so nobody else has to, and nobody appreciates what a good. You know what? Green Day was right. Nice guys do finish last. Fucking Green Day was right. Absolutely right.
Mark's plate was like glazed carrots, succotash, celery.
Corn game hen or some shit.
As I say, Cornish game
Yep.
hen was his meat.
Yeah, there you go. What about Thanksgiving that was? I'll never forget it.
Awful. It disgusts me to this day. It's disgusting. Jason, I tend to
Hilarious.
think I'm popular enough to have multiple podcasts, but yeah, that's just just in my own mind. All right. I do know this. I'm also waiting for them to drop the NXT Takeover in Your House T-shirt, because that will be one that I 110% buy.
That's a solid buy.
Just because I've always Matt still just throwing shit up there.
What if?
Oh, there's your girl Cameron.
Oh God, she is awful. Just
It might be a Christmas present for you. I know you want the sun.
just the worst.
Let me one up you on that, Matt. 1 second.
Oh, God.
You suck, you jackass.
While he's one-upping, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if they don't give you the In Your House set, but they bring back the old In Your House pay-per-view theme,
Maybe it'll get a D-. Maybe it'll go. Maybe it'll get up to a D-. But man, I want that set back, and I know they have it. They have everything and anything in that damn warehouse, and they have plenty of time to send a truck up there to Stamford or wherever the hell that damn warehouse is.
I was gonna say, where is said warehouse?
I think it's in Stamford, isn't it? Do we know? I would assume. I would
I
assume
think it's
Stamford.
undisclosed location.
Yeah, I would assume it's Stamford, or it's Conrad Thompson's garage. One of the two. But
Probably one of the dumbest 8x10s that I own. It is Cameron and Naomi and Brodus Clay all on one.
Oh, that's just
awful glossy picture. It's so bad. Cameron, so bad. Brodus Clay. Now what is Brodus on Fox News now?
Yeah.
He's a talking head on Fox News.
Shia.
All right, let's talk. AEW had a couple of
here to flash in front of the screen, so I'll be right back.
All right, gotcha. Let's talk about AEW. Had a few interesting announcements last night on AEW Dynamite. And this is 2 weeks in a row that I've actually watched both AEW Dynamite and NXT. So I'm doing well on that front. So let's start with this one. Iron Mike Tyson will be at Double or Nothing presenting the TNT Championship for the Cody versus Lance Archer match at Double or Nothing, not this Sunday, but next Sunday from Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. So first off, I love it. Especially given that it would appear that we are well on our way to potentially seeing Iron Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield mix it up in a boxing ring again. Have you seen those two old motherfuckers throwing fists in training?
They look good.
My God.
One looks good, and the other one looks like he's about to die at the hands of Mike Tyson. I'll let you figure out which is which.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
Mike Tyson looks like he can beat up anyone today, and
a bad
Evander
man,
Holyfield is like, all right, well, I'm gonna try to survive.
I'm gonna try it too. I saw somebody post with the video of Mike Tyson in training. They said, "Would you take a right hook from Mike Tyson to end all of this COVID-19 shit?"
No.
And after watching those right hooks from Mike Tyson, as much as I want this to end, I like my brain inside my skull a little bit more.
Hell no.
Can I pick where he hits me?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
All right, he can right hook my arm.
Okay.
Like give me, like, we're playing what's the game called where you try to
oh my God.
You try to you hit each other in the arm. Last lick.
Mercy.
Yeah.
Mercy. Yeah, he goes first. He breaks my arm. I say mercy, and then immediately COVID-19 just it's gone.
But yeah, I don't think I would take a I don't think I would take a right hook from Iron Mike to end this shit, because those right hooks were something nasty.
He
They
still
were
has
something nasty.
so much speed too. Like I was watching him just like kind of like training an MMA. Like the quickness that he dodged like possible strikes that weren't even happening. I was like, this guy.
Yeah, that's a bad man. That's a real bad man right there. But Iron Mike to present the TNT championship. Have we talked about the name of that title, by the way? Or do we like the TNT championship? Are we?
Why wouldn't you like it? TNT, it's dynamite. ACDC, it works together.
It's also the network that they're on.
Yeah. No, I like it.
It's a clever way to say television championship without saying television.
I agree. I actually like it as well. Now, will it be defended on Dark? Because it's not actually a TV title. It is a.
You think Cody Rhodes is working Dark, brother?
Well,
they're not wasting all the pyro and the flying chandelier spaceship and effing Brutus the dog and everything for YouTube.
Yeah, he's not scaring the shit out of his dog. For Axel's got the coaster set as well. Yeah, it's a great coaster set.
Cody
the fourth
Cody
of
gonna
the
blow
coasters at my
WrestleMania
office.
pyro. Cody gonna blow WrestleMania pyro on YouTube. Duh.
Yeah, all of a sudden AEW's pyro looks great because WWE got none. So point AEW on the presentation there.
Sure.
Summer Rae action figure box. She came out with a pretty impressive line. If you guys can see that.
Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins,
Adam Rose, Goldust, and Sami Zayn.
Solid. Yeah, it's a solid one. Which we'll talk about Sami Zayn here in a second.
That guy.
But
Can't catch a break, Kenny.
Then also we heard the Stadium Stampede match. The challenge was laid down by the Inner Circle. I love the idea. I'm very curious to see how that's executed. Now, Double or Nothing is that's going to be live, right? Okay,
I believe so.
Yes, that's not going to be a pre-tape. I think there's still questions of how like if there was some things on Money in the Bank on Sunday. People noted that some of the matches had like live in the top corner and some did not. So maybe there were some that were pre-taped. Obviously the corporate ladder match, but even some of the stuff in the PC didn't have live, like the Bray Wyatt Braun Strowman didn't have live on the screen. So there's questions with it, but yeah, I like the idea of the Stadium Stampede. It'll break up the action just at a empty or small amount of wrestlers around the ringside. I think it's a neat concept. Multi-man match. The end to last week's Dynamite was really, really good with the hardcore Falls Count Anywhere or whatever. So I think there's a lot of good potential there.
Yeah, I'm excited. I like what AEW is doing. It's a different flavor of pro wrestling. I think NXT, WWE, Raw, WWE, SmackDown are starting to feel the same with the Performance Center. So I always was the NXT guy. I prefer NXT because it felt different. Now that it's feeling like Raw and SmackDown, I find myself wanting to gravitate a bit more toward AEW just because it's different.
Sure. Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, gonna check the pay-per-view out. Really interested to see what they're gonna do.
Yeah, without a doubt. Any other thoughts to the Stadium Stampede? There's a lot of rumors around Sting, the man Sting. No longer, it would appear, no longer has a working relationship with the WWE. The marketing manager of WWE and Mattel announced that Sting would no longer be included in the brand's upcoming action figure line due to, quote, circumstances out of their control. It was also noted on Twitter that Sting had recently tweeted about AEW, and Cody Rhodes had acknowledged Sting in a tweet. So there's a lot of speculation that Sting may appear either at Double or Nothing or with AEW here in the upcoming future. That'll remain to be seen. Again, I don't know if he has any bumps left on the card or not. But I mean, even if you can get him in a role to counter Lance Archer's Jake the Snake at all, I think could be an interesting twist in a feud. Be it I don't think you're going to get him along with Cody because Cody has Arn in the family and all of that. So, but the potential of having Sting there, even to to pop some attention, would be I think would be big for AEW.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's going to end up being. I heard about the Sting thing, and it's interesting. It's very interesting. I'm very curious to see where how they use Sting.
Lou
the easy answer is just put him with Cody, but Cody already has all the gimmicks. So how does he have more gimmicks?
Well, I mean, you get one, get them all. Lou asked if he does end up coming to AEW, do we think they should wait for there to be crowds again? I do not, because we have no clue when crowds will be back. So I think even optimistically, you're probably looking 6 months from now. And I think that's really optimistically. So I say if regardless of who it is, in a couple of months or I guess about a month from now, when the or no, 2 months from now, when the the Gallows and Anderson and all of the guys that released from WWE, if these companies want to bring them in, I'd say bring them in as quick as possible, because you don't know when crowds are going to be back. So
strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like you're starting to pay your bills with marketing now, and all of a sudden ratings are going to matter. So I think you have to do it. You pop a rating. It felt weird when Matt Hardy debuted, but they made it work really well. So if they're going to do Matt Hardy and they're going to do the Jake the Snake thing without fans, then yeah, you're fine to do it with with Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, even Sting. Yeah, I don't think you can wait that long.
Yeah, I think coming up in a couple of weeks on the Talk and Shop podcast, they announced that they are going to talk about their exit from WWE, and I think like the tweet from Anderson was like, back in October or whatever, we signed our new deal, and on I think it's June 15th, and they said you'll find out why this was the biggest mistake of our career. So that got some people's attention. So if you're not listening to Talkin' Shop, you should probably at least subscribe to Talkin' Shop for that one, because that could be it's a fun podcast to listen, by the way, if you're not watching that. All right, let's talk here about the WWE Intercontinental Championship. It was announced on Tuesday on Backstage that Sami Zayn has been stripped of the WWE Intercontinental title because he is unable to compete. I believe that's of his own choice. So starting tomorrow night on SmackDown, there will be a tournament to determine a new Intercontinental Champion. I haven't totally paid attention. I don't know if they've announced anybody who will be competing in that tournament, but I know a lot of people have kind of made comparisons this situation to the Andrade suspension and keeping his U.S. title. I know people have made the comparison to Brock Lesnar and the 30-day no compete, whatever. But to me, this is something, and the situation that we're in with guys choosing not to be there. And look, if there's anybody who chooses not to travel to the Performance Center and compete right now, much like Roman Reigns, for whatever reason, 100% support that decision that anybody makes. However, I don't necessarily think that it's fair to compare this to literally any other scenario as it pertains to the defense of a title. Because with Brock Lesnar, yeah, whether we liked it or not, and whether it didn't go along with WWE's, if you don't defend the title in 30 days, you lose the title situation. Or like the Andrade thing where he got suspended for 30 days and obviously couldn't defend the U.S. title in the 30-day period. Much like everything in the world, this is open-ended right now. So if Sami Zayn's made the decision, I'm not coming to work until it is safe to do so. I don't think it's fair to the SmackDown roster. I don't think it's fair to the Intercontinental title. I don't think it's fair to the WWE, and I don't think it's fair to us as fans to have a title just out there, unable to be defended, unable to be seen on TV, literally for what could be 5 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year. We don't know how long this is going to go. So I don't think it's fair to just kind of, I don't want to say hold the title hostage, but in a way that is kind of the situation. Again, I fully support Sami Zayn. Like, you don't feel safe. You don't want to go down there. You don't want to put yourself at risk. Totally fine, man. Anybody that chooses that, but I think the WWE made the right decision here to take the title off of Zayn and let's award a new champion. Matt, we'll go to you first.
I could see both sides of the argument. Obviously, if he doesn't feel like he needs to be there or doesn't feel comfortable being there, then he certainly shouldn't have to be there. But at the same time, the belt is there to be defended. So to take the cheap, easy HR way out, there's no wrong answer in this.
Oh, what a fucking answer. Tim, let's go to you.
It's just a title. It's a prop. Like, if Sammy can't defend it, okay. Like, I get that you take the title off of him, but like, what's to say when he comes back that like they run back Shawn Michaels having to vacate the title because he didn't defend it, and then Sami Zayn's got to enter a feud immediately with the Intercontinental Champion. Like, you got to carry on. Like, if for whatever reason the WWE decides to pull the title off someone, you got to accept it and let it lie and go from there. Like, I don't think there's any, like, I side with Sammy not feeling safe. Like, I get that, but also WWE, like, it's just a title. It's not anything other than a piece of leather and some gold plating. Like, it's a prop.
Ryan, your thoughts?
I did some research. I quickly looked up Intercontinental Tournament. The first picture that came up has the graphic. So here are the competitors for the tournament. You have Tito Santana, Akeem, Brutus Beefcake, Dino Bravo, Jimmy Snuka, Mr. Perfect, Roddy Piper, and Rick Martel are going to be vying. At the end of the tournament, we will have a new Intercontinental Champion.
That's a hell of a lineup.
That's a lineup. That's a hell of a lineup. My money is on Akeem.
Did I hear Rick Martel in there?
Rick Martel's there too.
That's my money's on the model Rick Martel.
That was my only comment.
Intern Mark, your thoughts on the Intercontinental Championship situation?
I'll tell you what, it's going to be great to see Akeem getting in the ring, getting the title shot again. I totally understand where Sammy's coming from, not feeling safe, or he has health issues, whatever the case is, not being there. But yeah, WWE needs to do something to entertain the fans. The belt's meant to be defended. So, when Sammy comes back anyway, then you have a feud already built in. Whoever the current Intercontinental Champion is, Sammy will have, I never lost the belt kind of thing. So there's a feud there just waiting to happen. But I think WWE, given the circumstances, they're doing what they had to do.
You can give the champion that wins the tournament a replica title, that from the WWE shop. He can carry that around, and Sammy comes back. He can, that's not the real title. This is the real title. You can do that. You can run that whole thing all over again. Lou asked, do you think it's more of him being a quote vocal guy, like with the Saudi shows, etc.? I think Sami Zayn is a person that kind of champions safety, and we know with the Saudi shows he obviously has personal objections to those. So I don't know if it's necessarily on the same page as that sort of thing, but I think it's just Sammy being who Sami Zayn is, and much like a few other people in the company, they are choosing to step away and stay away right now, and that's totally understandable, 110%. So, whether it's relating to a similar situation like the Saudi shows, that I don't know. Obviously, this past Sunday, after the Money in the Bank, was the first of the Undertaker: The Last Ride series. Did everybody watch that, by the way? Have we all caught that? Matt has not caught it yet. Mark has not. Okay. First off, if you haven't watched it, I thoroughly recommend it. And I know, Matt, you like to do the binge watch thing, so I don't know if you're waiting until they all air to kind of binge watch. That's kind of your flavor, right?
Yeah, that's
All
my.
right. Have you completed the Big Show yet? I know in our group text you mentioned that episode 7 was the best yet.
It was, and I'm gonna watch the finale over lunch tomorrow. So.
All right. I'll give you the old Howard Dean on that one. I haven't started it yet. I still have not finished the 3rd season of Glow yet. I've gotten all out of whack lately. I know, Ryan. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I hope you can forgive me.
Mark, the Big Show?
What's that?
Did Mark finish it yet?
No, I got a few episodes in, and it's pretty much what you would expect for like a kid's show. It's not terrible, but it's kind of hard to watch as a wrestling fan.
You got a few episodes in. That's over halfway.
I'll say you're halfway there. Finish it off, man.
Yeah, I do too.
Does the boy watch it with you?
No, I've been watching it by myself.
I don't know if that's better or
Is that
worse.
a shame?
I'm not sure if it's better or worse.
I don't either.
But if you have not watched the Undertaker: The Last Ride, even the first episode yet, I highly recommend it. I think this has the potential to be one of the, if not the best things that the WWE video team has put together. I absolutely love it. Like I was sitting there, and my wife had actually watched all of Money in the Bank with me, and was and was there. Now again, she wasn't totally fixated, but she didn't leave the room, and she was even watching some of the Undertaker documentary with me. And I was like, I can't believe that there is this in depth of a look at the Undertaker. Like, to me, that's been like the biggest like mind fuck for me as a wrestling fan since I was a little kid. It's find it very hard to believe. But in an interview with people.com, again, talking about things that we never thought we'd see. In an interview with people.com, the Undertaker revealed how he wants to end his career. He says, when you're thinking of the old school Undertaker, that's not a character that comes down to the ring and says, thank you for being with me for 30 years. It's been a great career. I want to thank, and so on and so on. That's not what that guy does if you're being true to the character and what people want to see. He went on to say, I've had this amazing career. I've always been so blessed to have this career and far exceeded the expectations of when I got in this business. But I kind of want the John Elway ending. When he went out and won a couple of Super Bowls and then retired, or Peyton Manning, he wins the Super Bowl and then retired. When I'm looking at it, I want that match when it's just like, oh yeah, bam, I still got it. I got gas in the tank. I tore it down. Now walk away. And part of the question is, if he wants that moment, is that moment still out there? Or is that moment something that probably should have been about 5, 6, 7 years ago? Now I know that, you know, the tag match, and I don't think the Undertaker is going to go out in a tag match, but I thought that the tag match at whatever the show that was in Philly last year, Extreme Rules with the Graveyard Dogs versus was it Shane and Corbin? Like that I thought was one of the better things the Undertaker had presented to us in a while, just, you know, in a in-ring standpoint, because he didn't have to do the legwork on it. And of course, Matt, it's because Shane McMahon was
Here comes the money.
was in the match.
We go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
By the rules and standards of WWE, if Shane McMahon's in it, automatically the best thing on the card.
Easy A.
Easy A. But then, of course, then we had the Boneyard match, and you know, that was absolutely spectacular. And there's part of me that's like, okay, man, that was it. Like, you rode off. Metallica's playing. Good. We did it. We made it here. This is the best thing that we've seen from you in a long time. But I also don't think that was the last we see of Mean Mark either. I think that we're going to get a little bit more legs on this hybrid dead man biker guy, which I hate, but I don't like biker, dude. I don't, Tim. Sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I want my dead man. Look, let's say he runs with this for like 6 months, a year, whatever. As long as it ends and I get a gray gloves and stirrups Undertaker with the trench coat, I can forgive it all. We can move on, and we can and I know it's not going to happen, but that's the selfish part inside of me. But you know, I've loved this series, and again, in terms of how the Undertaker wants to end his career, if it wants to be that John Elway moment, man, I just don't know if it's there. I don't know if we get a singles Undertaker match that, you know, is this great be all end all match that he wants. And when I was first reading that quote, I thought, is he going to win the title and then retire? And I just don't know how you get there either. I think there's a better chance of we're getting John Cena 17th if we get an Undertaker title. Tim, we'll go to you first, the resident Undertaker guy.
Thank you. So I am not I'm not sold that we had, or excuse me, I'm pretty sure we've seen the last Undertaker match already.
Really?
I think the Boneyard match is an ending fitting of the dead man. Like, he gave us parts of the old school Taker, he gave us parts of Biker Taker, and he gave us the man who we're seeing right now. It was mentioned in the documentary of part 1 where Michelle McCool at the end of WrestleMania 33, it's not spoiler alert, but she mentioned, like, he had talked about over and over again how, like, this is the last one, this is the last one, this is the last one. And then he puts his gloves and stuff in the ring, and he comes and he kisses me, and it's like, I'm getting my husband. The man, Mark Calloway, is here, not protected or anything.
Right.
So I think that, like, this Boneyard match is it. If it's not it, it's gotta be like a title versus career thing. Like, Taker challenges Drew or challenges Braun. It's got to be one of those two.
Or it's a vacated title and it's him versus John Cena, and Cena wins to get number 17. Yes.
Wrong. You're wrong twice. You're wrong about Biker Taker, and you're wrong about that. But yeah, I think the Boneyard match is it. Like, especially, like, it's a 5-part documentary, and it's all filmed. And the documentary is called The Last Ride.
And then at the end of it, we get this.
Yeah, pretty much. The tiger that Undertaker hung out with just pops in the screen and goes, rawr. But yeah, I think that the Boneyard matches it.
Okay. Ryan, let's go to you.
Tim, I've never agreed with you more. And you hit the nail on the head. The documentary is the last ride. The last thing we see, Undertaker literally riding on his motorcycle, victorious into the night. The Undertaker, the combination of all of the dead mans that we've ever known, literally riding into the night. And then we get the documentary called The Last Ride. It's absolutely his last match. You'll never be able to do what they've done again and create a cinematic match as good as the one we've seen. He literally buried somebody, but blended the biker thing that people wanted really, really bad too. It was perfect. It's the best way to end it. I love in the documentary that they talked about removing the coat and the gloves and the hat. I know that's something I think we tweeted about and got a shitload of retweets for whatever. Like, it was probably our most popular tweet ever.
Yeah, and I swear, like a couple of weeks ago, I think somebody liked or retweeted that tweet from the end of WrestleMania 33.
For years, that was our most popular tweet. So it's cool that they're touching upon that, and like he's thought this far out. So yeah, Tim, you're right. It's called The Last Ride. We've seen his last match. We'll never see another Undertaker match, which breaks my heart. But I don't know how you would ever do it better than the graveyard match.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't think it is. If it is, though, you ended in a way that you weren't going to be able to end as good as that inside of a ring. Matt, your thoughts on the end of the Undertaker's career?
I think we've seen the last Undertaker WrestleMania match. But with this being the 30th anniversary of the debut, with Survivor Series being in the home state of Texas, it makes me think that they just wanted one last Undertaker match in front of a crowd. Whether we get that with everything going on, I don't know. But I think that was the plan, and I think they might still do something along those lines just to give him, like, I think that's going to be, and I haven't watched it yet, so I could be way off base, but I think the Last Ride docu-series is building up to, this is going to be the end for The Undertaker. 30 years later, I'm just done in my home state at the pay-per-view I debuted in. My last ride is at Survivor Series. But yes, I think he's done it at WrestleMania for sure.
What a crazy marketing tool that would be, though, to drive ticket sales to Survivor Series. You do a 5-part documentary to build up Survivor Series and make Survivor Series mean something again.
Or maybe they'll do the Tiger King thing, and they'll give us these 5, and then come like October, they're like, "Hey, we got one more for you." And so if it looks like we're gonna have a crowd there, they'll have one ready, one in the tank that'll finish with see the last one at Survivor Series. But yeah, no, I think potentially great marketing tool there as well. And again, yeah, being in Texas, not Death Valley where the Undertaker is from. Intern Mark, your thoughts on the and I feel like this is like our annual there's WrestleMania season, SummerSlam season, Rumble season. This is, we're in the post WrestleMania time, so this is our annual 6th annual have we seen the last of the Undertaker? Because literally when we first started this show around WrestleMania 30, we saw him get his brain dusted. And Matt, you can earmuff it if you want to. I don't think I'm giving a lot away, because this story's been told as well. He didn't remember anything after 3 p.m. that day from WrestleMania 30, and he didn't know his name until 4 o'clock the next morning. But he wrestled. I mean, again, wasn't a great match, but he wrestled for 20 plus minutes, and he had no clue who he was. So that's pretty impressive in and of itself. But yeah, I mean, the entire time that this show's been on the air, we have questioned whether or not we have seen the last of the Undertaker. So just imagine that one for a second. But Mark, your thoughts on the end of the Undertaker's career?
Well, I don't think it's. It may be the end of him actively being. Well, I say actively in quotes, but wrestling at WrestleMania and once a year. I don't think it's over. I think he still has one tag match or maybe two tag matches when they go back to Saudi Arabia. That's going to happen.
Get one more him, Kane, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels just for old time's sake.
There's going to be something like that coming up. Give it a few years, but yeah, he'll at least have at least one more match over in the Middle East.
That Saudi money is hard to turn down. That's a big payday right there. All right, the last thing I have, and then we can figure out if we want to close this thing up or not. But we kind of touched on it a little bit, but earlier this week it was reported that WWE was set to reintroduce a crossover of sorts, a wild card rule, if you will. We know that the first one of these matches, SmackDown and Raw superstars able to cross from one show to the other. The first of these matches will be Drew McIntyre, the WWE champion from Raw, facing SmackDown's King Corbin this upcoming Monday on WWE Monday Night Raw. It's believed this rule has been introduced at the request of one or both of the TV networks, Fox and USA, due to decline in ratings, particularly during this the empty arena coronavirus pandemic. I know a lot of people have kind of written the easy joke that like WWE can't commit to a brand split. Here's the deal. If this situation doesn't happen, I don't think we're getting crossover matches. Like, I think this is a reaction to, and every week you kind of see it. Historically low ratings, and the ratings are lower than they've ever been. And AEW and NXT had lower rating. This was the lowest rating number in the history of AEW last night. This was the fourth lowest in NXT on USA. I think that TV viewership even more so has changed. I saw something from I want to say it was like Bruce Feldman or something, just talking about since the beginning of this year, particularly in the last month and a half, 2 months, the number of people who have cut their cable or satellite service that number has skyrocketed in the last 2 months, because unfortunately, due to the situation that we're in, there's a lot of people who are cutting what they consider to be unnecessary expenses. One of those in a lot of people's situation is cable, because you can get online TV services, YouTube TV, Sling TV, and any number of those sort of services at a much cheaper rate. People are utilizing Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that at a much higher rate because they are a cheaper route than a traditional cable or satellite subscription. So that has to be taken into account as well. And also the fact that there's a lot of people who are out of work, who are working less, or who just have plain a lot more time on their hands after work because instead of coming home and running the kids to soccer practice or going to choir, or you have a Wednesday night church meeting or borough council meeting, none of those things are happening. There's a lot of people who come home from work and we need stuff to do. So in some cases that means I don't need to watch Monday Night Raw on Monday nights from 8 to 11. I can watch it in much less time if I cut out the commercials on a Tuesday after work. But I don't think this is WWE's inability to commit to the brand split. I think they're just adjusting to the situation. I thought it was a little bit interesting that you chose King Corbin as the first one to make that switch, but in the same time, he is one of the, if not the most prominent, distinct heels on the WWE roster right now. It could have been more interesting if they would have went the way Tim thought and the way Mark thought, if they would have went with him as the Money in the Bank maybe you have a regular match with him, you beat him up a little bit, and then you cash in, and then all of a sudden you have an interesting twist to Drew's title reign. But I think this, like I said, I think this is merely a reaction to the situation that they're in. I don't know if we'll see crossover stars every week, but that will remain to be seen. Tim,
I don't need to
Ryan.
see it every week, but I think it's a unique blend of talent. You got it. Here's the deal. Everybody was dealt a shitty hand. Just roll with it. It's not WWE throwing out the brand split. We don't need to see the memes of the McMahons in the ring saying, like, we listen to you, we're going to give you what you want. We don't need that bullshit. This is a special time. Just roll with the punches, folks.
Yeah, Tim, your thoughts?
This is a time capsule era that we're in right now. Like, this is the for any of you guys who watch The Good Place, this is the period in the Jeremy Bearimy.
Like, I have no idea. I have no idea what that means. Matt does.
We are living in the period of the eye of the Jeremy Bearimy. So, to give y'all an example, in The Good Place, they explain what time is and how time in the afterlife isn't necessarily how time works in the real world.
Okay.
And how the actual timeline looks like if somebody wrote the words Jeremy Bearimy in cursive and there's a lone dot over the I. And one of the the theoretical or the philosopher of the group goes, I get it, but what about this dot? And he goes, the dot is Thursday, or the day in which nothing never happened. That's right now in wrestling. Like,
I got you.
This is the period over the eye of Jeremy Bearimy. So whatever WWE wants to do to get us through this time, go for it.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Intergender wrestling and bring back little people and I don't know, everything.
I mean, they brought back a dead clown on this past Monday on the Money in the Bank match. Yeah, and I know for me, I've been go ahead, get the laughs ready. I've been much less critical with all products, be it the WWE. Oh, come on. NXT. What's that, Matt?
Much less?
Yeah, much less critical. WWE, NXT, even AEW. There we go. I've been much less critical of AEW during this time. Last week I really enjoyed it. This week I enjoyed it as well. If I can tune in and check out and distract myself for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is, to me that's a good couple of hours. So I've and I can't tell you how much I long for the day when I can watch AEW and I can just shit on it again. I can't wait for that day. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy it. Again, it's the what'd you call what was it called? Bill Bellamy or whatever?
Jeremy Bearimy.
Yeah, that one.
Bill Bellamy.
So that's what I'm enjoying right now. Matt, your thoughts on the crossover wild card rule?
Yeah, at this point they're just playing with house money. They can experiment with stuff. They can just do whatever they want. They could come in next week and have everyone from SmackDown just be on Raw. Everyone from Raw be on SmackDown, and we wouldn't say anything. Jim would be so much less critical than he normally is if they did something.
Mega hard.
I'm fine with it. I'm not the biggest King Corbin fan, so I will never look forward to his matches, but I'll look forward to this one just because of why not. It's something new that they're trying out. Let's see how it goes.
Mark, your thoughts here on the crossover wild card?
Well, it sounds like they're doing whatever they think they have to do to get some ratings, and the whole coronavirus or COVID-19 didn't happen, I think they'd still stay true to the brand split. But yeah, they're doing what they have to do to try to keep things interesting and keep the fans that are still watching, keeping them in tune.
Yeah, it's a shitty situation, and there's no good way around it. I mean, I'm happy AEW has their facility there at Daly's Place, and you can do shows from there. It was great that they could do shows at QT Marshall's place when Florida only let WWE do shows. And it's obviously awesome that the WWE has the Performance Center, and that's a thing they can do. I saw somebody tweet on Sunday during Money in the Bank that they hope that going forward, as long as you have these empty arena shows, they'd love to see pay-per-views on the roof of WWE corporate, just so it's a different setting, and you're getting into a time of year where you could do outside shows because it's obvious. Well, theoretically speaking, it shouldn't be cold anymore, but it was 30 degrees a couple of days ago. Tomorrow's supposed to be 80, so why not just feed us like the most crazy swing in temperatures on top of everything else. But if they want to do more stuff on top of the corporate, or if they want to do, I think we're going to get more cinematic style matches. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be one per pay-per-view, but I think we're going to see there is that potential, but more of them as the next couple of months play out. I like that AEW is getting creative with the stadium stampede, and using the scale of the facility that they have being connected to the Jaguar Stadium in Jacksonville. So I think everybody's doing a really good job playing with the hand that's been dealt. It's crappy for everybody, but I think both companies are doing a really good job right now in dealing with it. I personally, I don't have anything else to go over. Matt, let's go to Matt. I think he has something else here.
I do. I'm going to put you guys all on the spot here.
Ooh.
Well, Jim first, and then everyone else. So I'll propose my main question first, just to give everyone some time to think, and then I'll ask my secondary question to Jim. So looking back, if you had to pick a match from WrestleMania for The Undertaker, the match and the opponent, what match would you have wanted that to be? Obviously, he's going out on his back to leave. So what opponent in the past few years would you have liked to see him put over and then kind of called it a career? And then to Jim, beyond that question, I know you have the one Undertaker pop. I was with you when you bought it. I don't know if you have the one where he's in the robe with the dead eyes, but if they release a Funko Pop Rides version of the biker Undertaker on the motorcycle, would you not buy it since you are so adamantly opposed to biker Undertaker?
I haven't gotten the second Undertaker, the one with the robe and the rolled eyes. I do want to get that one. If they would make a biker take, I would probably round out the collection, just because the Undertaker is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And if they did it, I would like it better if it would be like the Boneyard match version versus beer gut Undertaker from like WrestleMania 18 or whatever. But I would probably round out the collection. In terms of who I would have rather had the Undertaker go out taking the L to. As much as I still think that Brock Lesnar being the guy is okay, being the one in 21-1 and everything that's gotten us over the last 6 years. If you could have waited a year or had Bray Wyatt been the guy at WrestleMania 30, if I could go back and change who would have ended the Undertaker's career, be it at Mania or wherever, without a question of a doubt, it would have been Bray Wyatt. I thought that easily kind of would have written itself with what Bray was when he was kind of rising up. I thought it felt like this weird hybrid of like a Jake the Snake and the Undertaker kind of all rolled into one. And I thought the opportunity was missed there. I don't know who wants to take it next.
I can.
Tim, go ahead.
Drew McIntyre. It's just a fit. It works. You got to pass it. Taker's got to pass it. If he's going to pass it, he's going to pass it to somebody who's going to carry it for the future. And while I don't think Braun is fit for the future, I think Drew's going to be around for a while. I don't know how long Braun's going to be around for. If it isn't him, it could have been Aleister Black too, or Baron Corbin. But my money's Drew McIntyre.
I'm not finished with you.
Ryan, go to you next.
Man, that's a great question, Matt. Looking back on it, I don't know if I would change anything. I think what they did to Brock Lesnar at 30 and then the shockwaves that sent, was that 30? Yeah, it was 30. Yeah. And just to go back and relive that moment's wild, and then what that did for Brock Lesnar, whether he needed it or not, we'll never know. And then what it did, at least in the short term, for Roman Reigns, and the unreal heat he got that next night. This is my yard. That promo. I don't recall a much hotter crowd, and that's because the Undertaker. So I don't know if I would have done anything different. I don't want to see the Undertaker versus the Fiend in a graveyard match, because I think the Undertaker can go over and have his moment of riding off into the sunset. So if somebody had to take the L there, I think AJ was a good, worthy opponent to take the L. So yeah, I don't think I would change anything. Mark?
Well, you know what?
Come on, Mark. Wait for it.
I wouldn't necessarily.
Mark, wait for it. Mark, wait for it.
This is my yard now.
Okay, now you can go.
There it was.
There it is. It's my yard now. I wouldn't necessarily want the Undertaker to lose, but I always wanted to see WrestleMania main event with Undertaker when he still had the streak intact against John Cena with Cena as champion. I think that would have been a great main event.
Are you sure about that?
Well, my opinion. Yes. I'm. You know what? Probably if Undertaker would have retired after Lesnar beat him, as unexpected as it was, I think I would have been okay with it.
Yeah, and I think even if he actually would have never made it back after the match with Roman Reigns, like what that could have done even for Reigns after the fact, if the WWE would have done it properly, use that moment properly, could have been huge for him. But yeah, I mean, obviously time will tell. Matt, do you have a thought on your own question?
Yeah, I mean, when it happened, I always thought that he got to the 20, that 20 would be the cap, and that CM Punk that year at 29 was going to be the first loss. I think that was, in my opinion, the best wrestling match we've seen out of Undertaker in a while. So, and that's a testament to Punk. And I thought that was a passing of the torch moment that they didn't seize on. Who knows what we would have seen out of CM Punk? Like, how does that universe traject if CM Punk goes over Undertaker at that WrestleMania? Like, do we see a different path of everything? So that would have been mine, but I don't think there's really a wrong answer here. I think that, everything that we saw from the Undertaker, it could have been the last match. And I think if it had been, I don't think any of us would have been underwhelmed with that being the last one.
Well, and if so, let's fantasy book this. Like, if Punk does win at WrestleMania, do you think that the cards play out the way they did, and a year later Punk is not even in the company by WrestleMania 30, or do you think him getting that win and being the guy? I know I know it wasn't the main event, and I know like wasn't for a championship, but it would kind of appear that maybe would have been that moment that he never got. Like, do you think that would have satiated him for the year, and then or do you think 9 months later he still gets the shits of being on the road 300 days a year, and it still plays out the way it did? I saw, Ryan, you were shaking your head no. Do you think Punk still would have been gone?
Yeah, no, I think Punk still gets the shits of it. I don't think a victory over the Undertaker and having a bit more spotlight on him does him any good. I don't think it fixes his body or heals his elbow or anything like that. So I think we still see CM Punk exiting the company, and we would look back at 29 like a wasted moment, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Matt, your thoughts on that one?
I mean, I think overall Punk was always just kind of looking for the recognition and the appreciation from the company. Like, you're our guy. And I don't think there's a bigger spot you can get for a wrestler than being the first one at WrestleMania to beat The Undertaker. So I think Punk kind of sees that as just kind of like, okay, they believe in me. They're appreciating me to the extent that they haven't before. Seeing what we saw at 30, I don't know how it fits into that whole authority storyline, but it's not hard to imagine that he kind of slides in. He didn't have the look of a regular champion, even though he had the belt for the longest reign.
Yeah, I think they could have done in a similar way what they did for Daniel Bryan. Absolutely. Tim, your thoughts on if Punk would have been the one in 20-1?
I don't know. There was a lot of special in that WrestleMania too, because that was the first WrestleMania without Paul Bearer. So, I don't think that would have happened. I still think that everything would have played out the way that it did. Yeah, I mean, I think we just hold to what it was, and I'd definitely rewrite Brock over Taker, but that's just me.
Sure. Yeah. And Mark, we'll get but for the record, I think Punk still probably leaves. I mean, I don't know that it would necessarily been a wasted moment, because it would have been an impactful either way. But I think that I don't think that winning over the Undertaker wouldn't have prevented him from getting the staph infections and just getting worn down at that point. So I think that it probably plays out. Now, does he leave forever? Maybe not, but I think he's at least taking time away, and maybe it doesn't get quite as ugly as it did before he, returns to the landscape at least a bit with backstage. Mark, your thoughts on if Punk would have been the guy?
Well, I kind of think I don't think Punk would have wanted to be the guy. I think he would have overridden that decision and let the Undertaker beat him.
Interesting. All right. For me, that's all we got, unless anybody else wants to add anything else. Otherwise, we're going to close it up. We will. All right, Matt. Did we have a woman of the week this week? Let people know who that is, and we'll start closing this thing out.
Yeah, I've been holding myself accountable to that. So we do have a woman of the week this week. It is Gypsy Mac, who is also going to be on the website this Saturday, recording an interview with him on Tuesday. So make sure you check out the website on Saturday, hear all about her, hear about her fixation with 90 Day Fiance. We have a follow-up podcast coming with Gypsy Mac and intern Mark, where they will talk about all things 90 Day Fiance coming up in the near future as well.
I can't wait.
Next week, we have Rosaria Elsa, backstage interviewer at Maryland Championship Wrestling, going to be joining us. Stella Gray was with me last week from Ring of Honor / Women of Honor fame. So that is all on 3count.com website. exclusive interviews. Check out that page.
Yeah, Matt, where can people follow you? Obviously, we don't have Phillies baseball or Flyers hockey or it looks mildly promising for college football in the fall. So there's potential for Doug Flutie hatred.
We'll see. I mean, either way, I will an aggressive tweet at Doug Flutie every other week in the fall, football or no. But you can follow me at 3CT, the letter A, Philly as in Philadelphia, the number 8, so 3CT affiliate.
All right, Tim, where can people follow you?
At Not the Tool Man across all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, if you care. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Not the Tool Man every Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Still playing Animal Crossing, playing a whole bunch of different stuff. So come on by, say hi. And if you're interested in more wrestling talk with me, I do a weekly podcast called Final Wrestling Place. This season, we're talking about WrestleMania main events. And our latest episode was WrestleMania 8, Hulk Hogan versus Sid Justice. It's also the baby episode where we talk about Marcus having a baby. So
Nice.
come check it out. Have fun. It's anywhere you get your podcasts, soundcloud.com/Final Wrestling Place.
Yeah, before we get to Ryan and Mark to close up, Matt's been absolutely killing it with these interviews. So make sure you check out 3countthursday.com. Check out those interviews. Absolutely. And I love the Final Wrestling Place. I really do. It's always a fun listen. It's a great, easy listen. So make sure you check out what Tim and Marcus are doing. Ryan, where can people follow you, bruh?
LEEIBsports.com.
Sure. Are you tweeting at all right now? I know you jump on like once every 10 days and my phone blows up with about 45 notifications that you've liked every 3-count tweet for the week.
Yeah, that's a fun thing that I like to do. Man, I feel like I tweeted something. I don't know what it would have been though.
If people want to see what you might or might not tweet, do you even want to give out your Twitter?
RYN and then the word Eagle. RYNEAGLE. Maybe I tweet something.
Maybe. Mark, where can people follow you?
Well, every once in a while I'll tweet, probably even less frequently than Ryan, but the 3-count intern on Twitter.
Yeah, at 3-count intern. Always the number 3 as we do everything at 3-count Thursday. And that's where you can follow us. You can follow us at 3-count Thursday, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, 3countthursday.com. Again, subscribe to us. If you're not subscribed to us, we are on YouTube. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, any podcatcher, Stitcher. We are now on Spotify, so you can literally find us anywhere and everywhere. Our home network is ngscsports.com. We also stream daily at leibsports.com. That is LEEIB sports.com. We have our Patreon page. I've been trying to put some stuff up there, Ryan. I think you've been throwing up some of the unnecessary censorship pictures, so I appreciate you keeping the Patreon active, even though things are obviously off for us. Also, we have our merchandise at whatamaneuver.net.
What a maneuver.
Thank you, Tim. As well as our deal, collarandelbowbrand.com. Promo code 3count gets you 10% off of each and every order at Collar and Elbow Brand. Thank you all for joining us. For everybody who followed along, commented and whatnot in the page, we absolutely appreciate it and sticking with us. Until next week, stay safe, stay smart, go for the pin, wash your hands, stay inside, and all of that stuff. Be smart, be responsible. We'll talk to you next week.